ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं स्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। You can repeat the shloka number 23. नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि
नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि
नैनं दहति पावकः
नैनं दहति पावकः
न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः
न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः
न शोषयति मारुतः
न शोषयति मारुतः
अच्छेद्योऽयमदाख्योऽयम्
अच्छोऽयमदाख्योऽयम्
अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च
अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च
नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः
नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः
अचलोऽयं सनातनः
अचलोऽयं सनातनः
Oyamachintyoyam.
Avyaktoyam chintoyam
Avikaryoyamuchyate.
avikaryoyam
Karyoyamuchyate
muchyate
Tasmadevam viditvaidam.
tasmadevam
Evam
viditvainam
Viditvainam
Nadrishocitumarhasi.
nanushocitumarhasi.
Up to this shloka, starting from the 11th shloka, all these shlokas are very important shlokas. The Sankhya Yoga, otherwise called Jnana Yoga, the teaching of the Tattvam, Atma Tattvam, is presented in these shlokas. This is the biography of every jiva, every jiva's biography. The jiva who thinks himself to be a karta, a bhokta, and therefore experiences the karma palam in the form of papa and punya, to exhaust them, taking janma and again maranam janma, the cycle. This samsara is caused because of not knowing the swarupa of oneself, not knowing one's real nature, the swarupa. If you understand the tattvam, the Vedanta is built on this tattvam, the truth. What is the truth? I, the Atma. When you say I, it is Atma without any further qualifiers. I, after that, if you have any attributes to I, that is samsara. You are superimposing anatma attributes on Atma. But if you stop only with I, then it is Atma, Satchit Ananda Atma, Chaitanyam, that is you, I the Atma. In all these shlokas, the word I am is used. I am referring to this. This means Atma, because Atma is not far away. It is this. I am meaning this. It is the Pratama Vibhakti Ekavachanam of Idam Shabda. Idam meaning this. Idam you can refer to that which is near. So this I is near. Where is it? It is near. It is you. That is you. It is not different from you. It is you. Therefore, I am Atma. This I am Atma, this Atma, it is not like saying I am Vrikshaha. Vriksha is an object available outside. There is a gap, there is a space between you and the Vriksha. There is a space between you and the object. But this I am Atma, when we say, it is not something which is away from you, it is you. But since we don't know that I as pure Atma, as myself, therefore only the problem is. Therefore only the Upanishad also teaches I am Atma, and saying that I am Atma, this pure Chaitanyam is you. It is not an object, it is a very subject. So, if it is an object, then the object must be available for your objectification. The object must be available for the experience. You experience so many things. So many things you experience, even your body. Whatever you experience, that you know very well, it is object. There are objects of experience, and those objects cannot be you, the subject. So that distinction we clearly understand, that I, interacting with the objects of the world, I cannot be the object, because object is away from me. There is it's a spatial distance. Spatially, time-wise, it is different away from me. So I have to be there. I have to be there to be the experiencer of the objects, to be the enjoyer of the objects. Therefore, I must be different from the object. I cannot be the object. To be an experiencer, there is a distinction, there is Dvaitam, there is duality, subject object difference is there. Where there is experience, there subject difference will be there. Where there is subject object difference, there only experience is. There only the anubhava, the experience, whether it is sukha anubhava or dukkha anubhava. So, in all our experiences, empirical experiences, it is very clear the subject is always different from the object. The experiencer, the enjoyer is always different from what he enjoys or what he experiences. From the experienced, the experiencer is always different. The experiencer and the experienced cannot be the same for experience, for any experience. This we know very well. In the empirical world, in the day-to-day world, we interact with people, we interact with objects. So, therefore, the object of experience is different. For perceiving the objects of experience, there must be the subject. Be the subject, and subject is not one of the objects. The subject is one which cannot be objectified. The unobjectifiable is the subject. With reference to the objects only, it is called subject. But really speaking, it is neither the subject nor the object. It is Atma. Everything is Ishvara. Everything being Atma. How can there be subject-object? That subject-object duality in the experiential world, it is there. It is experienced. The experiential world, that duality is there. The duality is not truth. It is not Satyam. If it is Satyam, then Atma must be different, must be distinct, always from other things. Then you cannot say everything is Ishvara, everything is Bhagavan. You cannot say everything is Atma. That the statement of the Vedanta is not valid. Everything being Atma, therefore the subject also must be Atma, the object also must be Atma. In spite of everything, subject object being Atma, still we feel, still we experience duality. That is empirical. That is what the empirical world is. That is called objective world. In the objective world, there are objects, and you as a subject is there to experience the object. But you are not one of the objects. So the subject, always being a subject, cannot become an object. Subject cannot be objectified. The subject, you, the Atma, cannot be objectified. Therefore, it is not one of the objects. It is, that's all. It is. It is a very truth, subject. If at all we can use the word subject. When we say subject, object also comes in. So, therefore, it is a objectless subject. Atma is objectless subject. That is the drishti, that is the vision of the Shastram. That is the vision, Paramarthika Satyam, that is the absolute truth. But in the Vyavahara, we take up the role of the subject, and there are objects, and therefore there is interaction. But in reality, a subject, that you, the Atma, cannot become an object. You can never be an object of experience. You can never be objectified. You can never be an object of an anubhava. So you cannot experience yourself. You cannot experience because you are always experienced. In every experience, you are there. Then how can you experience yourself? With the eyes, you can see objects. Can you see yourself with the eyes? Not possible. Even with the eye, it is not possible to you see your body. With your own eyes, you cannot see your body. With your eyes, you can see only the object. Then what to talk about objectifying you, the very Atma. Is it possible? It is not possible. So, even in the empirical world, there are examples like this. You, with your eye, cannot see yourself. If that is so, then what to talk of the Atma, which is the reality? And if you want to take up the latest example, the modern example, you can call with your mobile the other numbers, but can you call yourself? Not possible. Even if you dial your number, what message it will come? The call will not come to you. You are calling yourself. How can the caller call the very caller? Not possible. There must be somebody else other than you, then only you can call. That is why most of the people, they don't remember their own numbers, mobile number. If they ask, they have to check the mobile to see what number is. But they remember other numbers. Because our mind is always extrovert. Paranchikani Vitrnat Swayambhu Parang Pashyati Nantaratman. Kathopanishad beautifully says our sense organs are made like that to flow towards the sense objects, external world, including this body. The body is also external. If Atma, Anatma, that difference is there, then this body is also external to Atma. Really speaking, there is no external or internal for Atma. But Atma, this body as Anatma, is external to Atma. Therefore, it is experienced. Therefore, only Sukham Dukkham of body is experienced. If Sukham and Dukkham of body is experienced, the body experience is there. Therefore, body also must be an object because Anubhavatvat, because it has the status of being an object of experience. Therefore, it cannot be you. If it is you, how can you experience you? Since body is also experience, therefore body cannot be you. And this body is subject to all types of destruction. The body can be cut, the body can be burnt, the body can be made wet, the body can be dried, but Atma cannot be. Nainam chandanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha. So, therefore, it's very clear it is talking about you. When you say nainam chindanti shastrani, enam atmanam, shastrani na chindanti, weapons do not cut, it doesn't mean something. It talks about you. No weapon can cut you. No Agni can burn you. It can burn Atma. Therefore, it can burn Anatma. It can burn Anatma, the Shariram. Therefore, Anatma is not you. Atma is that which is not subject to any type of changes, any type of destruction. Not possible. But any type of destruction not possible for Atma is what is said in this shloka. What about for Anatma? Anatma Shariram. Anatma Shariram is subject to all types of changes, all types of destruction. Therefore, Anatma, since it undergoes changes, since it is experienced, therefore it cannot be you. Therefore, with regard to that, Tasmat evam viditva enam atmanam anushochitum na hargasi. Therefore, it is not proper. It is not proper to worry about this Atma, which is Avyaktaha, which is Achintyaha, which is Avikaryaha, Ayam Atma Uchyade. It's about you. Agam Avyaktaha. When you say Avyaktaha, Ayam Avyaktaha means Agam Avyaktaha. Agam Achintyaha. I am not available for any type of description, beyond description. The words cannot, with words Atma cannot be described. I cannot be described. The indescribable is described. That is why Upanishads are the Pramanam. The indescribable is presented. The indescribable is conveyed, is taught, is revealed. For that only we need Shastra. That is why Shastra is the Pramanam. So the indescribable is described through words, and the words have to be carefully understood. Yetadadresham agragim ashot achakshushrotram tadapani padam. All these words. Yettat adresham agragyam agotram avarnam Achakshushrotram, Tadapanipadam, all these are negative. That which cannot be seen, that which cannot be grasped, that which cannot be, that which doesn't have any varna, all are negative descriptions. In Mundaka Upanishad, we saw. So, therefore, it is not an object. Object is very clear. It is not an object. Because I am not an object, therefore I don't have gunas. I am agam nirgunaha. No guna, I don't have guna, and no gunas also can touch me. No gunas can touch me. And where I am located, I am not located in a particular place. Agam sarvagataha, akandaha, akanda atma agam. And how many I are there? Only one I. That which is I in me is the I in you. I in every jivas. That I is Paramatma. The I is Paramatma Ishvara. So, and therefore, because it is everywhere, it is in every jiva. That's why Vasudeva. Vasati Sarvasmin iti Vasudevaha Ishvaraha. This Atma, it is Achalaha. It doesn't have movement. Where it can move. Therefore, it is Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Stanuhu. It is Tanuhu, Achalaha, Ayam, Sanatanaha. It is there. It is there. Eternally it is there. Therefore, there is no one coming and going for this Atma. Therefore, Anatma only comes and goes. With regard to that, there is no need to worry about that. Then the next shloka, which we are going to see today. Next shloka, Bhagavan Krishna, he gives, for the sake of argument, for the sake of convincing Arjuna, for the sake of convincing Arjuna, he is giving an argument. If this is not understood, to understand this, one has to be sufficiently prepared to understand, to appreciate this truth. If this is not understood, then Bhagavan Krishna comes down one level, and says, what? We will read the shloka. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam
Nityam va manyase mritam
tathapi tvam mahabhago
tathapi tvam mahabaho
naivam shochitum arhasi.
naivam shochitum arhasi.
So here there is a suppositional argument. It is supposition given. It is not true, but for Arjuna, to convince Arjuna, an assumption is given. Assumption, the argument based on some assumption. Atachainam nityajatam. Nityam va manyase mritam. This Atma, if it is Nitya Jatam is, it is always born. It is born always. Sarvada jayate. Already we have said Atma na jayate. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. But if that is not understood, not convincing. It is not that it is not convincing. It is a truth. The truth need not be convincing. Truth is a truth. Whether you accept or not, the truth is a truth. So, but it is not understood. If it is, the truth is not understood, therefore he is giving an assumption as an argument to convince Arjuna. If you take Atma to be born always, Nitya Jatam, Nityam va manyase mritam. If Atma is Nitya Jatam and Atma is Nityam mritam, Nityam Jatam, Nityam mritam. It is born always and it dies always. Constantly, Nityam mritam. It has constant Janma and constant Marana. It means it comes and goes, again comes and goes, If this is the nature of Atma, this Nityam Jata means constantly born. Nityam Mritam is constantly dying. Even if this Atma is subject to constant birth and death, Tatapi Tvam, even then, a Mahabaho, Mahabaho is addressing Arjuna. He has got Bahu. He has got the Bahu, which is Mahan. Mahabahu. Bahu is the arms. Mahabahu. So, Mahabaho, a Mahabaho, Tatapi Tvam na evam shochitum argasi. Even with regard to that, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. It is a supposition argument. Okay. So, even if you don't accept that Atma na jayate na mriyate, and if you say Atma dies, then again it is born. That is the argument. The opposition to the truth. See, the fact, if the fact is not acceptable, then opposite to the fact that is presented, and for an argument is given, then also you need not worry. What is that? If Atma is is always born and it dies, again it is born. So why do you worry? Atma is being born and it is dying again and again. Then also you don't have to worry because it is born again. So in that case also you don't have to worry about Atma. So if Atma is born and if Atma has got repeated birth and repeated death, but it continues. So therefore it is changing. It is changing. Changing. It is changing at the same time permanent. So changingly permanent. What we said, Atma is changelessly permanent. Kutastha Chaitanyam, which doesn't undergo any change. It is Chaitanyam, it is consciousness. Changelessly, it is present. That is the truth. If that is not convincing, you accept Atma is changingly present. Changingly present, it is undergoes changes but continues to be there. So anyway, it continues to be there. So in that case also you don't have to worry about the Atma. In fact, there is nothing to worry at all. With regard to what you will worry in this world, nothing to worry because it is born and it is gone and again it is coming. So where is that worry? It has come in some form, but maybe the form is different. Maybe that Bhishma and Dronacharya may not be having the same form. They come in different form, but they continue to exist. Even if you don't destroy them, their forms are going to destroy. Because anatmavatvat, because being anatma, it is going to destroy. So, but they are going to continue. You cannot destroy. You cannot destroy even an ounce of matter. What to talk of destroying the Bhishma and Drona? It is not possible. Therefore, there is no need to worry. And if it is Maranam, we are worrying about the loss of form, really doesn't deserve. Kritasya karanam nasti, mritasya maranam tatha. Gatasya shochanam nasti, etat vedavidam matam. What has gone, you need not worry about that. And what has done, with regard to that also you need not worry. Mritasya maranam tata. With regard to who has gone, who is dead, you don't have to worry. It is not just saying don't worry, because what is the base for worry? They are not gone really. Therefore, no need to worry. The worry, the grief, when it is from the emotional perspective, the grief will not go. But the emotion has to be handled intelligently. When intelligent supersedes the emotional, then the worry will not be there. When the intellect overpowers the nature of the mind is uh, is being emotional, is always things back and forth. So it is emotional. The emotional mind has to be handled by the intellect, which is convinced of the ever unchanging this consciousness which is you. When it is convinced, then the mind will not worry. The mind will automatically, the worry will go away from the mind. Therefore, na shochitum argasi. Therefore, you don't need to worry about. In this case also, you need not worry. If Atma is is nitya jatam, nityam mritam, then also you need not worry. Then the next shloka. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः
जातस्य मृत्युः
ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च
ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च
तस्मात् अपरिहार्येऽर्थे
तस्मात् परिहार्येऽर्थे
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि
न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
Atma cannot be an object of grief because it is not subject to any change. Avikriyaha Atma. The change in the Atma is because of superimposition, superimposing the Anatma on Atma. And Anatma being subject to change. It is subject to change, it is its nature. And Atma cannot change. Now, with regard to this changing also, if you take Atma to be changingly permanent, because it goes and comes, nityajatam, nityamritam, then jatasya hi dhruvaha mrityuhu. Dhruvaha, it is certain, it is unavoidable. What is unavoidable? Mrityuhu is unavoidable. Dhruvaha means certain, unavoidable. What is unavoidable? Mrityuhu, death. Death is unavoidable. Nishchitam. Mrityuhu, maranam is nishchitam. For whom? For the one who is born. For the born, maranam is nishchitam. Everything that is born, it has taken up a form, it will give up its form. Along with the form, the name also, everything goes away. So what is born will be gone. It's a matter of time. Only there is a time difference. Similarly, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. See, it is not one way. What is born, it is gone. It is coming and going. Only going? No, it goes and come back again. It's a cycle. Because karma is there, karma palam is there, so it has to come again maybe in some other form to exhaust their karma pala, papa punya. Therefore, it has to come again. Therefore, dhruvam janma. Janma is dhruvam. Birth is certain. Birth also is not avoidable. It's unavoidable. It is definitely bound to take place. Janma. It has to come. Karma is there, therefore it has to come. Karma is unshakable. Karma and cause for karma is avidya, ajnanam. As long ajnanam is there, one cannot escape taking janma again. It has to come. So dhruvam janma is certain for whom? Mritasya cha, for the one who is dead. For the one who is, it's word also. Mritasya, who is dead? Mritasya, for the dead one, janma is certain. Already it is dead. How can janma for that? Therefore, what is mrita really? Nothing is mrita. The word itself really, it doesn't have meaning, but we use all these words in Vyavahara. That which is dead is born again. Means what is dead to be born again? What can take a birth if it is dead? If it is dead, means it is no more available. What we say is there's nothing which is no more available. Whatever it is, it continues to be. It continues to exist. That existence is the truth. And the existence, the Sat is the Chit, the consciousness, which is Atma, which is the truth. It cannot come and go. So Mritasya, Jatasya, all these are with regard to the Anatma alone. with regard to anatma, because we have superimposed the anatma and atma and taking atma to come and go. Therefore, the word mritasya, jatasya, really, if you analyze the word itself, even without the Vedanta, it doesn't have really meaning. Mritasya, for the gone, there is birth again. How can there be janma for the person who has gone? It means the person has not gone. It is there only. All the time it is there. That is what Vedanta says. That is what from the beginning Krishna has been saying the same thing. For the one who has gone, janma, the birth is there. He comes back again. Where he will go to come back again? He cannot go anywhere to come again. He is here and he is always will be there. Maybe with form or without form. He continues to be. That is the swarupam of Atma. So what comes and goes is only this shariram, which is anyway bound to go. Therefore, dhruvam janma mritasya cha, janma is certain for the dead people, comes back in some other form. So, therefore, tasmat, even in this case also, you cannot, can you avoid, can you stop maranam? You cannot change. You cannot change maranam not to happen. Similarly, you cannot prevent janma also not to happen. As long as you are within the ambit of ajnanam, you cannot avoid this. As long as ajnanam is there. Apariharyate means not avoidable, unavoidable. With regard to this unavoidable thing, it is avoidable when it is avoidable. When jnanam takes place, then there is moksha, you become free. There is no janma, there is no maranam. But as long as this ajnanam, as long as you are ajnani, janma will be there, maranam will be there. You take yourself as being born and then gone. Therefore, for the born, since death is certain, similarly for the dead, birth is certain. Therefore, with regard to this unchangeable thing also, you don't have to worry. You cannot change it. It has to happen. It will not change. Janma is for sure. Therefore, it is not possible to avoid that. So, therefore, the maranam is something, it is happens without your permission. Without your permission. And from jivanam, from the birth to janma, in this, whatever the experience you gather, that experience, that anubhava, it is for atma or anatma. It is anatma anubhava for the ajnani who identifies this atma with anatma. That anubhava. There is a duality, is there, therefore only this anubhava, therefore only this shoka. Shokam is there, therefore to remove the shoka, this jnanam is required. This jnanam only can remove the shoka, and when the shoka is not there, all the anubhava, whatever you experience, with that experience, you are experiencing Bhagavan in everything. That every experience becomes, in every experience Bhagavan is there. So you have, when you have the vision, then you will see everything as Bhagavan. Even the Janma is Bhagavan, then Maranam is Bhagavan. Because you see behind the changing, the unchanging, you as Atma is always is there. So there will not be shoka. So therefore, with regard to this Janma and Marana, you need not worry. And for the people who are living, they think Maranam will not happen to them. That is something very very peculiar. People who have gone, with regard to them, people who are living, they worry. Even for the people who are living, they worry. They do not worry in spite of observing Maranam every day. Maranam happening everywhere and every day, in spite of seeing them, the people, because of Ajnanam, they think they are going to be there forever. That is what in the Yaksha Prashna, the Yaksha asked Yudhishthira, Ko modate kimascharyaha kaf pantaha kachavartika vadame chaturaha prashnan mrita jivantu bandavaha iti. So, Ko modate kimascharyaha, who is joyous, who is the really happy person, and what is a wonder? Kim ascharyaha, that is the question. That is, we are interested. Kim ascharyaha, in this world, what is the ascharya? What is the wonder? Then further, Yudhishthira says, Aganyagani bhutani gachanti iha yamalayam. Sheshaha stavaram ichanti kimascharyam atah param iti. Agani, in every day, day by day, day after day, you see the people are entering the Himalayam, abode of Yamadharma Raja. The people are entering the abode of Yamadharma Raja every day. You see people around you entering. Agani is every day. But Sheshaha Stavaram Ichanti. But what about the people who are left out, who are living? They imagine that they will live forever. Kimascharyam atah param. What can be more wonderful than this? Probably Yaksha himself would not have expected this answer from Yudhishthira. Such a beautiful answer from Yudhishthira. What is a wonder? This is a wonder. Seeing death all around, and it is certain, it is knowing that it is unavoidable, but still the people think that they are going to live forever, as though death is away from us. What happens the next moment, we do not know. Then, and the people, they stavaram ichanti. They think that they are going to be there forever. Himascharyaha tatparam. What can be more ascharya, more wonder than this? This is a wonder of ajnana. This is a wonder of ajnana. So therefore, this, with regard to this, you need not worry. Na shochitum arhasi. And ajnanis also, they don't worry. In spite of seeing death all around, they do not worry, because for them death is not there now. That is what they think. So, if it is only pure ajnani, it doesn't have problem. If it is a jnani, it doesn't also have problem, because he doesn't see problem. Ajnani, for them, problem is away. For a jnani, there is no problem. That in between people are there. These are the people who suffer. These are the people who really suffer. Ignorance is bliss. Knowledge is also bliss. In between, pure ignorance, not just simply ignorance. Pure ignorance is bliss. Knowledge is also bliss. In between, the mixture is there. That is a problem. They are neither here nor there. So, for them only Bhagavan Krishna advises. If it's a pure ignorant, then he has to come to Shastram to understand this. For them, it's not the teaching. For the Jnani also, teaching is not required. For the sadhakas, like Arjuna, for them only this teaching. So for us only this teaching is because we want to come out from this ignorant. We understand something, but we want to be more clear. We want to have that jnanam which the jnani enjoys. Therefore only Bhagavan Krishna says. First is shoka nivritti. Only when shoka is not there, then only you will be available for understanding, for studying Shastram. Backed up by shoka, you cannot do anything. Therefore, first is shoka, remove. Understand and remove. Only when it is not there, then only Shravanam also can take place. Therefore, na arhasi iti. Then the next shloka. Avyaktadini bhutani.
Avyaktani bhutani
Vyaktamadhyani bharata.
Vyaktamadhyani Bharata
Avyaktanidhananyeva.
Avyaktanidhananyeva
Tatra ka paridevana.
तत्रका परिदेवना.
This is another important shloka. Avyaktadini bhutani. Bhutani referring to beings, jivas. Avyakta, avyakta adini. Avyakta adini. Adini in the beginning, they are avyakta. They are not manifest. In the beginning of the creation, creation we accept. Why? Because we are because the we because for us there is subject object. The something which is created is there with what I interact. Therefore, the creation. Therefore, the creation is with the created, with the objects you are interacting. In the Vyavahara, there are objects with which you interact. And they must have a beginning. They have a beginning. Similarly, I also must have a beginning. So, therefore, it must have, since it has a beginning, therefore it must have started in the beginning of the creation. So, creation is really is manifestation. There is no new creation. There is nothing called creation. Really, there is nothing called creation. Nothing is created. What is it's a manifestation. What was unmanifested is manifested now. The manifestation is called creation. Without Shastram, that cannot be understood. Without Shastram, we think everything is created, everything has come into being, because this is all comes under the laws of creation. It is created, it is produced, and therefore the world is also created. I am also created. I am not something, a newly created one. I am there from the beginning. There is no beginning. I am there beginninglessly. I am there, and beginning and endlessly I continue to be there. But in between I come and go. In between that manifestation is there. That is called creation. It is for me, similarly for others, similarly for all the things. Everything comes to manifestation. I also come to manifestation. But I say it as a creation because I see it as a beginning. I see it as a beginning, therefore I say creation. But really speaking, there is no beginning. There is no new beginning. Beginninglessly it is there. Therefore, only we say manifestation. Manifestation is the right word. Manifestation is called creation. The word creation also, as the word shows, it as the person who uses shows ajnanam of the person. If jnanam is there, he will not use the word creation. It is manifestation. Because creation as the meaning, something is newly created. In fact, nothing you cannot create. Anything what you see in the world, it is a manifestation only. It is not something which is created new. Mobile is created new. No, it doesn't happen. Mobile is an assembly. It is there. It was there in unmanifest form. It has come into being now. We say it is created. It is also not created. It is an assembly. All the parts are available there. All the parts are available. Now it has come put together. Now you see it as a creation. It is a manifestation. As a vriksha in the seed. As a vriksha in the seed is in the unmanifest form. The unmanifest form of the vriksha is a seed, and the manifest form of the seed is the vriksha. In the seed there is vriksha. Similarly, in the vriksha there is seed. It is there, all the way it is there. So, vriksha is not created. It is there. It is the vyakta form of the bija. It is the vyakta, the manifest form of the seed. So, therefore, nothing is really created. It is come to manifestation. So Avyaktadini Bhutani, the Bhutas were in the unmanifest condition in the beginning. In the beginning means before comes to manifestation. That is why in the beginning. And we say beginning of the creation. There is no creation, we said before. So in the beginning, all the beings were in the unmanifest condition. And now it has come to manifestation. Vyakta Madhyani Bharata. In the middle means it has come to being and therefore available for interaction. That is the middle. So divided into three states, three conditions. Avyakta, Vyakta, and again Avyakta. So in the middle, it is available for your experience. So Vyakta Madhyani Bharata, in the middle it is manifest. And after that, again Avyakta Nidhanani Eva. Avyakta Nidhanani. At the end, in the end, what happens? Again, it becomes Avyakta. So in the beginning, it was Avyakta. In the end is also Avyakta. In between only it is Vyakta. So that in between only it is Vyakta, and we worry with regard to the in between. It is in between. Why do you worry about the in between? It is Avyakta all the way only. It is the Vyakta is only in between. That is only for a short time. That is Janma. Again, it goes back to unmanifest stage. So, why do you worry about that Vyakta? All the changes happening in the Vyakta period. In the Vyakta period, with regard to that changes, Ka Paridevana, why there is grief with regard to that? It doesn't really be worth. So, therefore, the beings, they continue to be. Beings, they continue to be. So, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is beautifully said, Tadhedam targi avyakritam asit tannama rupabhyam eva vyakriyata iti. So, this Jagat which is available for your perception, which is Drishyamanam idam Jagat Vishwam, it is Vyakritam. It is known by the name Vyakritam. And before this, how was it? Purvam, Srishtege Purvam. It is Avyakritam. So, Avyakrita Jagat, it has become Vyakritam. It has become Vyakritam. Vyakrita is, it has got namas, namani, and forms. All forms are there and colors are there. And therefore, only different forms, difference are there, different colors are there, different names are there. Therefore, only you see variety of things. Vilakshanani namani akaraha varnaha vidyante vyakritasya vastunaha. Then, how was it before? It is avyakritam. Then vyakritam. Then after that, what happens? Again, it goes to be, it's going to be avyakritam. Though, therefore, this vyakritam jagat, from the standpoint of paramartha drishti, it is atma only. Atma, all the way it is atma only. This vyakrita jagat, this avyakritam is atma. Vyakritam, avyakritam, atma eva. So, this avyakrita atma only, it has become vyakrita in the form of name and form. Namarupa bhyam vyakritam. This avyakrita atma. So, therefore, with regard to this vyakrita, which is madhya, which is in the middle, one need not worry. One need not worry with regard to this. Therefore, tatra ka paridevana. Paridevana. Paridevana is shoka. Paridevana is shoka, grief. So, Bhagavan Krishna gives different arguments to convince Arjuna. There is no need to worry at all. Atma continues to be, whether it is Vyakritam or Abhyakritam. It continues to be, and that is you. Therefore, you don't need to be worried. So, If you can appreciate this, if you can appreciate this, then if the person has this vision, then he is liberated while living. Igaiva tarijita sargaha, yesham samye sitam manaha, nirdosham hi samam brahma, tasmat brahmani te sthitaha. Bhagavan Krishna says in the Gita itself, 5th chapter, 19th shloka. In this Igaiva, here itself, this Janma Marana cycle, the chakra, it will be overcome by the people who have this vision of Atma in everything. So what is Vyaktam? Varieties of things are Vyaktam. It is Atma. And this Vyaktam is only in between. The original condition is Avyakta. Avyakta only. Avyakta Brahma is pure. Because it becomes Vyakta, it doesn't become contaminated. It is all the way, it is Shuddha only. It is same only. Because it has taken different names and different forms, it doesn't become contaminated. It continues to be the same pure Shuddha Chaitanyam. No change can affect, nothing can bring about even a slight change in that. So therefore it is Samam. All the way it is Samam. All the way it is same. Therefore, with regard to that, Ka Paridevana, what is the grief? Iti Bhagavan Krishna says. Next shloka, it's another beautiful shloka which you will see. You will see that in the next class. Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramrutaha Stunvanti Duvnestave Sangha Padakramopanishade Yantiyam Samagaha Jnanavastita Tatgatena Manasa Pashyanti